I'm one of the founders of JellySwap, and today we will discuss the topic automated market making and how this is done on the JellySwap platform. For the beginning, you can open jelly.market and you can see a little bit more about the protocol, which is a cross-chain atomic swap protocol similar to Uniswap, but you can exchange or swap assets from different blockchains in completely decentralized and non-custodial manner. If you want to see the platform before we proceed with the market making, you can open the button here and you see the platform. Basically, you can exchange all available assets, which are the moments are ETH, Bitcoin, BNB, AVA, One, Matic, A, USDC, RBTC, and DAI. You can not only swap these tokens as end user, but you can as well provide liquidity to this protocol and earn some profit from the fees and from our market making program, which is incentivized at the moment. And we are providing like 12.6 annual return for the liquidity providers on top of the liquidity that they are bringing into the ecosystem. So how to provide liquidity in JellySwap? You can come to our GitHub, which is github.com/JellySwap, and you will see a few repositories here. For the market making, you should choose Butler Electron, which is an Electron application that you can run on your own machine, and it will not expose your private keys or any personal information, but it will automate the market making process. So you should click to releases and select the latest version. At this moment, it is 0012. Depending on the operating system that you are using, you should select one of the following packages. One of them is exe for Windows or DMG for iOS and Mac. But if you want to use it for Linux, you can run it from the terminal, or you can wait for the next release, which will be 0.013, and there we will have the build for Linux as well. So I want to download the application and to start it, so I click here, and it starts the downloading process. It is like 100 megabytes, so it's not that big. It should be done relatively fast. I already have the application downloaded, so I'll just start it. And if you try Butler in the search, you should find it. The first time when you log in into the software, you should type in your password. Please remember your password, because if you forget it, you cannot access the application. Everything is encrypted with this password. And yeah, it's pretty important to keep it safe in order to access it. So I know up my password, but if I mistake it 3 times, I have to type in a new password. So I will pretend that I'm not sure what my password is, and I will type a wrong password 3 times in a row. You can see I have 2 times left. 3 times wrong password and 3 times, and now it asks me to enter a new password. I'll use some pretty simple password just for the test. Okay. And here is the configuration that we have to import in order to provide liquidity to the ecosystem. So here is your Butler name. I would say that it should be something generic. It's not a good idea to write your own name. You can do it as well if you want, but if you want to keep it more semi-anonymous, maybe it's better idea to select some nickname. For example, the Dark Knight, or maybe Superman. I'm a fan of Superman. So now you should select the pairs that you want to provide liquidity for. At the moment, by default, are selected ETH and Bitcoin. I would like to select some other pair as well, for example, ETH and DAI. Now I should decide what should be the fee or the spread that I want to receive on top of the market price. For example, for ETH Bitcoin, I will select 0.5, and for ETH DAI, I will select 1%. There is another option as well. You can use it if you decide. So you can use this for something like a limited order book. For example, there are some examples. If you want to provide USDC and you want to receive Bitcoin, you have to put the price of USDC for one BTC, e.g., some hard-coded value. And yeah, it's like a limit order. So everyone, when someone wants to swap, he will receive your limit order price, and if it's good, he will take it. But be careful with that option because if there is some price movements, this could cause some losses. Next step, once we have the pairs that we want to provide, we have to add the keys for them. And by the way, here I'm providing ETH and receiving BTC, but I'm not providing liquidity for Bitcoin. If I want to provide liquidity for Bitcoin as well, I should select provide Bitcoin and receive ETH. It depends on you. Maybe you want to provide liquidity on the both sides, or maybe you want to provide liquidity only on one of the sides. It's yeah, completely based on your decision. So I want to provide ETH BTC and BTC ETH again at the same percentage, 0.5 or let's say 0.6. When I'm selling BTC, I want to receive more ETH because for me, Bitcoin is more valuable. So now is the time for the wallet setup. You have to provide your public key and your private key. I already have created some keys in advance. So I'll put here my Ethereum public key and I'll put here my Ethereum private key. These are test accounts, so if you see them or not, you're not going to win some big prize, so don't try to hack this. For the DAI, I have created another address. Here is the public key, and here is my private key. For Bitcoin, we are using a seed phrase. This means that we don't want to receive a Bitcoin private key, but we want a 12-word seed that will be pasted here and that generates this particular address. For that purpose, you can go to let's say app.jelly.market. There are other ways also, but this is one of the ways to generate this seed phrase. For example, come here and type in some secure password and username, and you can export the phrase. This is a brain wallet, so every time when you type in the same username and password, you are generating a Bitcoin account. So this will be completely for the test, so it will have a weak username and password. But if you are using this to store some real funds, please use more complicated password and username. Okay, never mind. And now I go to options. You can see that my balance is 0, 0, 0, 0, and I want to back up my phrase. If I click here, it will reveal my phrase, and I'll use it for the other application. So this is the seed phrase. If you see, these are exactly the same 12 words separated by space. And here is my address that I have to import here as well. We are ready with the wallets setup. We have added the pairs that we want to support and the fee, or in the other words, the spreads that we are willing to receive. And the next step is to add your Infura key. Basically, it is used to take some events from the blockchain. If you don't have Infura account, you can click on the button and it will give you a pretty quick guide how to generate Infura key. You can see some example keys here, and I will go through the process with you at the moment. to show you how easy it is. So do we have a link to Infura? I'm not sure. Yeah, here it is, Infura.io. I click on login. I already have some account, but I'll try to generate, or maybe I will log in with my existing account. But if you want to create a new one, you just have to click on sign up and you have to enter email and password. Okay, I will use my existing account. Already have an account, go to login. And here is the dashboard that you have. So if you go to Ethereum, you can see the projects that you have, and you can select one of the keys that you are going to use for Infura. For example, I'm going to use the HTTP endpoint. I came here and I pasted. Next thing that I have to create is API key for the price feed. You can use Crypto or Binance. If you use Binance, you can rebalance as well. So every time when a swap occurs, you can automatically place a mirror order in Binance Exchange. And for example, if someone buys some of your Bitcoin for ETH, you can go to Binance and sell your ETH for Bitcoin. And this could be done in completely automated manner. This is a great option because if you're a big liquidity provider with lots of funds, this will solve the problem with the impermanent loss. And all the time you cover these losses and you earn some profit from the spreads. This is something well known in the traditional market making, and I believe that it is a great option. So for this demo, I'm going to use Crypto price provider. I have prepared in advance some API key, but if you don't have, you can click on generate Crypto key. You'll be locked in your account. And when you go to API keys, there is a section API key. So you can copy your key and then paste it in this form. I already have the key, so I'll paste it here. You can add email notifications if you want. At the moment, we are supporting Gmail. So you have to put your Gmail account, Gmail password from, and the two others, which should be another email that you have access to. And every time when some swap occurs, for example, you swap ETH for Bitcoin or vice versa, you receive notifications on your email. And once you're set up and ready to go, you can just click start. And you should see this label, loading validation. And if everything is configured correctly, you see this server started on some given port, at this point 9000. And the service will automatically start checking for swaps and withdrawals. If you go to the wallet section, you can see the addresses that you're using at the moment and the exact amount of tokens that you have for each wallet. For example, at the moment I have 00 Bitcoin, 00 DAI, and 0.01 ETH that I'm providing with this instance of Butler. As long as this instance is working on my machine, I'll be providing liquidity and I'll be part of the protocol. If you want to verify if everything is working correctly, I think that this is enough. But if you want to ensure that everything is fine, you should go to our stats website, which is stats.jelly.market. Select the assets that you are providing liquidity on, for example, ETH, and you can see the liquidity providers that we have at the moment. So at the moment we have 4 liquidity providers. One of them is providing 7.8 ETH, 4.6 ETH, 79 ETH, and this is our instance, if I'm not mistaken. and we are providing 0.01 ETH, which is a pretty small fraction of the whole liquidity for ETH that we have at the moment. And we can verify that by checking the address. So 0x7c is the address that is providing this 0.01 ETH. And if I go to the wallets, I can see that it is 0x7cb, etc. And it is the same address here. So this proves that I'm already actively taking part in the protocol and providing liquidity. That's it. As long as you run your Butler, you'll be part of the protocol and you automatically swap, provide liquidity, rebalance in Binance, and potentially earn some profit from our market making program as well. At the moment, the liquidity that we have is 124K. It is on different tokens. We have some liquidity on Bitcoin, ETH, Eternity, DAI, AVA. We have released it a few weeks ago. USDC, Wrapped Bitcoin, BNB, and some other One and Matic. And if you're interested in the rewards, you can see that we are delivering rewards in every 2 weeks. And for example, if you provide like 50K, this will mean that for 14 days, when you multiply it by 50K, this will be something around 700K liquidity, and you receive some good reward for it. For example, some of our liquidity providers are receiving $160 on every 2 weeks period. Some other that are providing less liquidity are receiving like $21. And yeah, it depends on the liquidity that provide. But even with 10K liquidity, you can receive something like $5 for 2 weeks. And no, even more. That was a mistake. I mean, you're receiving $4 if you provide something around $500. But if you provide something around $10,000 liquidity, you receive more like $40 per 2 weeks. It depends. It's yeah, it's dynamic. The price is moving and all that stuff. If you have any more questions, you can just ping me and ask me how to run your Butler. I hope that this video was useful and it is answering your questions, because we have regular questions about this problem with Butler, how to provide liquidity and so on, but in my opinion, it's like a piece of cake. Thank you for your time, and I hope that you try our market making bot and our protocol JellySwap.